Okay, so you don't like your job. It's been about a month. What is it that you don't like about your job? Because you were really excited about this job when you first started. Okay, you're new and you feel like you need more help. That's understandable. What is it that you're struggling with? Okay, and did you ask for help? You did. And what'd they say? Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like a reasonable solution. How did that work? It helped? Oh, okay. Well, then it wasn't enough. Okay, so why wasn't enough? What were you missing? Oh, so you wanted like immediate response. Okay. So given the number of interactions that you have, how many sales do you feel like you're losing out on because you don't have an immediate response? Maybe 2 out of 10? That's actually really good numbers. Do you have any reason to believe that you would be able to book 10 out of 10 sales if you had a immediate response? No. Not how much money would the company make if you book 10 out of 10. But is there any reason why you think by having 10 out of 10 sales that would realistically happen? If you had that immediate response, you would definitely get 10 out of 10 sales, because that's pretty unlikely in most businesses. It's unlikely in most businesses that every attempt to sell would result in a sale. Okay, so why exactly are you unhappy with your job? And so this is Ray with Get Real Ray, a place and space for life and business tips from this creative soul to hopefully guide you on your journey of fabulousness, or at the very least provide you with some laughs. And so let's get real about expectations.
Craving real advice? Tired of feeling like every other small business owner or solopreneur is raking in the dough while you just seem to be raking? Secretly looking for a reminder that starting your own business is not as glamorous as others make it look? Whether you're looking to change the game in your relationships at home or at the workplace, you've come to the right place. My name is Ray. I went from corporate America to running my own small business to becoming a solopreneur. I'm a professional actor and, dare we say, a professional busybody, because this body is about to be busy all up in your biz. So let's get real.
Okay, so I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was saying how she was a bit unhappy with her job. Now, let me back up and say that this person worked really hard to get this job. She was focused on improving her skills so that when she started the job, she would be able to just knock it out of the park. And like her first week on the job, she got her first sale. Her employers were very pleased with her performance. They've met with her multiple times to say how much they love her work, how they're so happy to have found her, for her to be a part of the team, and how they just had bad experiences with other people before. And they're looking forward to her learning more and then possibly learning another skill set and being promoted. So these are all really good things. This is like the dream scenario when it comes to a career path that you have wanted, that you've trained for, that you have passionately pursued, and all of a sudden you're doing that job and people are like, yes, we love you. So why is it that my friend said, oh, I'm just not happy and I want to leave? Now, when we talked about why it is that she wants to leave, her reason for wanting to leave was pretty much that she felt like she needed more. She wasn't perfect at the job. And if she couldn't be perfect at the job, then what's the point? And so as we talked, we also realized that there wasn't changing jobs wasn't going to lead her to be perfect, right? She could go to another company, do the same role, and maybe get less support. There's just no way of knowing. And I found myself, as we were talking through things, I found myself thinking, well, what are areas in my life where I've said, well, if I just had this thing, if I just had, right, if my manager just sent me more job offers related to the type of work that I want, or if I just had more clients like I want, if I just had more contractors working for me that talk the way I want them to talk, then things will be easier, things will be faster. I would definitely like get more work and make more money and all of these things. If, then. But when it comes to reality, chances are a lot of that stuff wouldn't really change. What do I mean? Hear me out. Okay. If my manager sent me more roles related to the type of work that I want, would I suddenly be more available? Well, I know my schedule and not really, because I do run multiple businesses and I haven't been able to set up a system that is reliable, that will allow me to still generate the income I need and the flexibility to step away from the direct handling of those businesses. And that's where, like, having a CEO or a CFO and having awesome managers and team leads and project managers, that's where those things come into play, having awesome virtual assistants. But because I have felt like I'm in this bit of a financial constraint, I do a lot of the work myself. And as long as I'm doing a lot of the work myself and kind of physically tied to those day-to-day interactions, it's just going to be hard for me to step away from my business to focus on other things that I am passionate about. Now, with that being said, I know what I have to do. I know I have to continue to seek out contractors that can provide excellent services for my business. I know that I have to create income streams that don't rely on interaction or engagement from me. This is part of that creating on-demand material for my businesses. I know that also, in order to increase my revenue, planning ahead. With that being said, being confident enough to plan ahead, right? I can just say, you know what? I am not going to accept certain times of work for these months, but I will book my plane ticket, clear my schedule, and put lots of energy to advance booking that kind of work for this other time of the year where I know that I'll be busy and I really enjoy doing that time of work, and I won't be stressed about the fact that I might not have enough time in my schedule or money or anything like that, because it was all planned ahead. I know this is something I can do, and this is something I feel like I try, but there's just always an issue. And so just continuing to try, being persistent in that path, learning from those mistakes instead of giving up and just be like, oh, I'll deal with it later, and then putting myself in a position where I'm stressed out. These are all things that I know. So going back to that question of, if my manager sent me more types of work in alignment with the types of roles that I want to play, would I suddenly have the acting career that I want? No. Like if I got a call tomorrow and said, Ray, we have the most dreamy part for you. You are going to be in a film with George Clooney, and you're not playing any kind of romantic interest or anything like that, but you are in this kind of espionage spy thing, and you get to be super, like, just be strong and a really powerful female character, and this whole situation cannot be resolved without your input. By the way, you are the female lead. OMG! And yes, sign me up. Don't even send me the script. Just sign me up. I will be there. What do you need me to do? Do you need me to, like, scale a wall, karate chop someone, do double backflips? Well, guess what? If they needed me to do those things, even though excitement-wise, I'd be like, yes, I can do it. Let me start training. Why would I wait until I get that offer to start training? Like, I need to be practicing scaling walls now, if that is my dream role, okay? Tom Cruise, he didn't start learning how to rock climb when they came up with the idea of, okay, so in Mission Impossible number whatever, we want you to be on a rock. He wasn't like, yes, that is exactly what this scene needs. I'm going to go learn how to rock climb, then we can film. No, the guy was already, like, in the habit of climbing and all those things. And he as he is a producer on that. I'm sure he's a writer on the series as well, and all of those things. And so, or at least contributes, I guess. And so my point is, even though it's very easy to say, well, if I just had these things, everything would be perfect. When you really take a moment to look closely at what perfect is and what it takes to be perfect, you'll probably find that you're not ready for perfect. And more importantly, perfect ain't even possible, because there are going to be days where no matter how amazing you are at what you do, even if I got back to every single client real time, gave them everything they wanted, there's just going to be people who are going to say, actually, this isn't for me right now. Ask yourself, when was the last time you inquired about something with the intention of just finding out more information? Or with the intention of hopefully being able to make that purchase or take that trip or enact upon that thing at a later date? It happens all the time. I put tons of things in my Amazon shopping cart with the intention of making that purchase when I get a gift certificate or when I have a little extra money. Or if I don't find that same item when I am out and about at some random like little garage sale, right? There's just so many different ways in our life where we naturally don't take action right away. Now, with that being said, my friend's issue, my own issue, an issue you may have as well, isn't the result of indecisiveness or not dedication. Part of it is that for, how long has the internet been around? Well, I think Google did an ad or something about like 25 years of Google, okay? So let's just say the power of the internet has been around for 25 to 30 years. So for some people, like you watching this video, how old are you? Do some math. Figure that stuff out. For some people, instant gratification is all that they know, right? If you think about people younger than yourself who have grown up with smartphones, oh gosh, how old is the smartphone now? I think it's 15 years old or something like that. People who've grown up with smartphones, people who've grown up with just social media. Like, why would I open up a dictionary? I could just go online and look up the word. Why would I actually like have to worry about how to spell that word? I can just type in my phone and it'll give me autocorrect, like done and done. This instant gratification, this instant answer, this instant problem solving is just creating problems in other areas of our life. And with that being said, I'm not saying, oh, technology gets rid of the autocorrect and all those things. Like, no, there are some beautiful, wonderful advantages to having this technology. However, that doesn't mean that the lack of instant problem solving is a problem. Okay? So, if you take a test and you don't get the results right away, does that mean you're any less smart than when you took the test? No. Next time you find yourself going, gosh, why didn't they get back to me right away? Or gosh, what else is, I need this, right? Why isn't my boss giving me more? I asked them for more. Take a moment to think for yourself, what would more change in that moment for you? Yeah. Would it change anything? Well, you'd have the information, right? But will you be able to control what's next? Okay, so my friend's situation, even if she had the answer that she needed right away, she still wasn't in control because someone was asking her for something. And even though she used her small talk skills to get more information from them, giving them what they asked for right away doesn't necessarily mean that they would then turn around and make that purchase or make that appointment or whatever it is. In my case, if I got back to my clients faster, which I know I need to do, but if I got back to them faster, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to book the appointment or make the purchase. It just doesn't. So how can I set myself up for success? Well, I can manage my expectations a little better. I can remind myself that that customer may need some time to think about it. That customer may have life events that are going on that are taking them away from making that purchase right away, right? I had one student who I was really worried. They did not want to come back to class. Maybe they were just not feeling the fact that I give feedback and they were feeling very negative. I reached out to the family. I'm like, just want to make sure everything's okay. Haven't seen the student in a while. Hey, and also just a reminder, I am running this class just for one child. This takes a lot of my time, blah, 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 right? Because I was also very frustrated. Not just the fact that this student missed another class, but also there had been a number of students recently who had kind of missed class and left me sitting there waiting. And I could have been doing something else with my time. I also could have opened up that time to other people who were available to learn and who wanted to invest. So there are just multiple layers of my being frustrated, not directly related to this particular student and their situation. And lo and behold, I got a response a couple of days later and I'm going, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, why am I even bothering with this class? I have the right to end this relationship and I might just do that, because I'm so fed up. And I had to say, okay, Ray, well, calm down. What has been your relationship with this client? Have they normally been reliable and you've had a positive experience? Well, yes and yes. Okay. So just calm down. I kind of forgot about it. But a couple of days later, I got a response. I am so sorry we missed class again. We had a death in our family and we've all been dealing with that. And it just slipped my mind. I just found your message. It's also happened at times where people have said, hey, I didn't even see your message before. I just found it. And we've been in the process of moving and we just kind of had all these things going on. And I'm really sorry. Is there a way we can do some makeup work, change time? So people have lives. People have things going on. Now, this also brings me back to another little thing that I do sometimes where I get really down on myself for not doing the things that I know I could do. And my friend kind of talked about it in terms of perfectionism. And she said, I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I want to get back to the customers right away. I want them to have their answer. I want to get all the sales. I want my boss to be happy with my work. I want to be happy with my work. And those are all really understandable and relatable feelings. But we also have to remember that it's not realistic for things to work the way we want them to work all the time. No one is sitting around going, gee, I hope I get cancer today. I really want this to happen. No one does that. No one does that. So knowing that there are things in our life that we can't control, like natural disasters and illness and death and heartbreak. Why is it that some of us put so much pressure on ourselves in order to have things go perfectly all the time? Why is it that some of us may not put pressure on ourselves, but pressure on others? Well, I'm not going to be bothered with this business or this person because they didn't get back to me right away. I'm not going to go to that restaurant because I had to wait for a seat. I don't have time to wait. I'm not going to purchase this because I asked them a question and I did not get an immediate response. So how can we problem solve this for our business? As mentioned, manage your expectations. Set yourself up for success. So if you are reacting out of frustration, figure out what it is that would make the problem better. Figure out what it is that you can actually manage and figure out whether that problem is kind of reflective of other problems. Are there other problems? Okay. So in my friend's case, she was having nightmares at night about interacting with clients, right? Can I get back to them fast enough? Right? Little anxiety dream. All right. So we realized she actually was just only focused on her new job, and she forgot to spend time finding and embracing other things that feel good to her that are completely unrelated to her work, right? And I hear you if you're like, Ray, yeah, I get it. Like every YouTuber says that, but I ain't got time, girl. I am busy. I got my family. I got my business. I got my whatever, right? Or, yo, Ray, cool, but look, I gotta make some money because I gotta pay these bills. So, yeah, it would be cool if I could just, go out with my friends every night or play video games every night because that feels good to me. I like it, but that ain't paying my bills, so I can't be doing that. And I hear you. And with that being said, if playing video games every night would mean staying up late or going drinking every night with your friends would mean that you were too tired in order to focus at work and you're all hungover, then no, those are not things to do. But that doesn't mean you can't find other things that you have done in the past that would give you a mental break from the things that are stressing you out. So here's something I've done. Here's something that my friend's done. All right. When I was younger, I used to love doing things like playing jump rope, going roller skating, climbing on the monkey bars, coloring, reading, listening to music, and like memorizing all the lyrics to some song because I played the song like 120 times. I don't know why it just made more sense when you had like a CD or a cassette tape to listen to over and over. And maybe as I'm thinking this through, like maybe it was easier to memorize those things because you didn't have 150 other songs to choose from, right? You had the songs that were on that album. Whereas nowadays, because of streaming, you have these playlists and you don't have the lyrics. We don't have that CD booklet with all the lyrics in it. And so you can listen to the song and then go to some other song. And you can just have these playlists go on for hours and hours and hours, right? Oh, yeah, my Spotify. One of the businesses I have, I always kind of giggle a little bit when my clients will say to me like, oh, we love this song, but the lyrics. And I'm like, well, you have to think about how closely are people paying attention to the lyrics because clearly you didn't. And secondly, how much of the song are you playing? Because most people just only listen to the hook and chorus. Let's be honest, right? And another part of that is some of these songs that I get, I'm just like, ooh, is that really the message I want to send? But, that's the human relationship to paying attention to music. Sometimes we absorb a lot of the lyrics and sometimes we just don't. We kind of cruise through everything. There were so many songs I listened to as a kid. When I listen to as an adult now, I'm like, oh, I don't think I realized that's what they were saying. Or, as a kid, oh, yeah, it was fun to say, all I want to do is zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Yo, shake your rump. And then as an adult, you're like, okay, zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. It isn't just a fun phrase. It is literally saying that one wants to have physical engagements that should not occupy your time all the time. Does one have an addiction problem? I do not know. Oh, yes. The way we engaged in life when we were younger and didn't have jobs or family or just all these responsibilities, is different than the way we do now as adults. But that doesn't mean the things that brought you joy as a younger person can't bring you joy now. So if I really wanted to, I can go online, look up lyrics to certain songs that I really enjoy, and try to memorize those lyrics. And as someone who loves karaoke, I am trying to get myself to memorize my own songs. I do have like a whole list of songs that I want to memorize and be excellent at performing. And I could really carve out more time in my day, in my life, to make those things happen. But is it a priority right now at this very moment? Not really. Yeah, I've gone back and forth between setting up schedules, making commitments to myself. This week I'm going to learn this song. If I learn one song a week, and I keep breaking those commitments. So that's a little system that I am going to be playing around with. And this kind of idea of instant gratification and perfectionism, I think I just instantly want to be perfect at the song, have it memorized, and then not have to put in that effort anymore. Now, when we were younger, at least when I was younger, if I wanted to get good at those monkey bars, I would fall, keep trying, get back up there. Yeah? If I wanted to be good at making bubble letters, okay, then I would keep practicing making bubble letters, because that's what you do when you're younger. You tend to keep going. When we are babies and we start crawling and then start walking and you fall, you get back up and you try again. So as we get older, the patience related to trying again seems to kind of wane, per se. With that being said, I do have younger students who get really frustrated that they didn't get the answer right in the little game that we're playing, or get really frustrated that their essay isn't perfect the first time around. And they just get frustrated over a lot of stuff. And I am often reminding them, hey, it's a learning process. It's okay that we didn't get it right away. We have to learn from these mistakes. We have to keep trying, in the same sense where I also have students who are like, oh, well, I did it and it's perfect. And I'm like, well, actually, it's not perfect. It doesn't really make any sense. And in order to benefit from what we've created, we have to actually look at what could we do better? What could we do differently? There are some students who create things and it's fine, but did they use all of their skill sets? Did they try their hardest, or did they just rush through it just to learn to move to the next thing and to keep acquiring different skills to say, oh, I did that. I know that. I did that. I know that. And when you think about video games, in video games, you are constantly moving forward to collect those points, right? We're not necessarily moving forward to improve our speed or skill in defeating certain characters. It's just, let me get through this so I can get more points. And this kind of attitude is just being applied to so many areas of our lives. So take a moment. Take a moment. You're going to be happy you did. Now, true, you probably don't want to sit around making a bunch of bubble letters or taking little action figures or making them fight. That brought you joy when you were a kid? Let's do action figures. Oh, okay. No, I get it, right? And you might not have the time for that, even if you really wanted it to. But there are other things in your life that you used to enjoy that you could probably make time for now. So my friend used to really enjoy writing. She's like, well, I can't go to the library and write because by the time I'm done with work, the library is closed. Well, can you go to a cafe? Well, I could, but the cafes are always crowded where I live. Okay, so what is it about the library or cafe that would be better than just writing at home? Well, at the library, it's really quiet. No one bothers me. And I can just focus. Okay. Chances are you're at the library for more than 5 minutes, right? Yeah. All right. So what if you find 5 minutes in your day at home where you can focus? Like, is that a possibility? If it can't be 5, maybe it's 2 minutes, right? Now, if you're someone watching, you're like, Ray, the kids, the young, they need things. I got you. Maybe you get up 2 minutes earlier. Or maybe after the kids are in bed, you go to bed 2 minutes later because you want to take those 2 minutes to yourself to practice doing something, to engage in doing something that brings you a sense of calm, enjoyment, and maybe control. I've recently taken to making like not so good art. I say not so good because there's nothing amazing about my art, but I used to really like to draw. And I have this entire like fancy pants, expensive set of markers that I got from someone, not directly as a gift. We were doing some work together and they were just like, oh, I got these. Why don't you use them to create this project? And when things ended in our business relationship, they actually wound up with a lot of my drawings and illustrations and the work that I created. And because I couldn't have access to the bill date anymore, it was so crazy. Maybe that will be a video someday, is my crazy New York City experiences. But I had these markers. And so I've had these markers for over a decade, which to me is just insane. And I'm like, do these markers even work? Like, I'm always still like, oh, I don't want to like ruin the markers because they're so expensive and they're so nice. And finally I just said, you know what? F up these markers. Use them up. Have them dry out because they're not going to work when I'm dead. And I'm not going to pass them along to some family member. I bequeath to you my precious markers. Like, no, markers are designed to be used. Let's use these bad boys. And so I now take some time on the weekend to just allow myself to just color with these markers, knowing that they're going to be used up at some point and I'm going to throw them away. And that's okay, because this is a situation where I have control, right? I am using the time to do something that makes me feel calm. There is no expectation of what has to be
Thanks for listening. If you think this
accomplished or
podcast
what
would
this
help a
picture
friend,
needs
then
to look
please feel
like.
free to share
I'm
it with
saying it's
them.
okay
If
if it
you want to
looks
check
crappy
out some more
because
Real
I'm
Ray
not
or
selling this
just
to
see me hang
anybody.
out
I
with
don't
cute
owe it
dogs,
to anyone
then
but
feel free to
myself.
visit me
I'm
over on
controlling my
YouTube.
time
Get Real
and I'm
Ray
allowing myself the space to make
4273.
mistakes and to have feelings and to not think about work or my bills or just all these other things. And so I encourage you to take a moment and think of what are some things you used to enjoy doing and what are some small ways you can incorporate some of those things into your life. And you don't have to put it on a schedule. Sometimes I'm just like, nah, I don't want to draw, but I think I want to practice a handstand now. And I'll just do it. I tried before saying, I need to practice handstands every day or, whatever the schedule. And I would often not stick to my schedule, break the commitment to myself, and then feel down. Well, taking away the pressure of breaking the commitment and just allowing myself the freedom to move, do different things that bring me joy, that allow me to feel more control of my life and my time, and to have me or help me have fewer unrealistic expectations of others. This is what makes life more enjoyable. Because honestly, you're not going to be on your deathbed going, oh, if only I'd made that sale. So, my words of wisdom to you, my friend, is take some time to enjoy your life without the pressure of feeling like you have to show life enjoyment in a specific way. You don't have to have the bucket list. You don't have to have the amazing Instagram photos. Take some time to do small things for yourself that will allow you to keep managing your expectations, to take a little pullback from that feeling of I need this now, the pressures of that instant response, instant reward, instant connection, and just spend some time with you. I don't know, you might like it. I like you. Do you like you? Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, my friends, that is my tips and tricks for today that you can apply to life, business, the things. It has been an absolute pleasure navigating this with you. I think I'm going to go create some bad art now. And with that being said, until next time, peace.
Thanks for listening. If you think this podcast would help a friend, then please feel free to share it with them. If you want to check out some more Real Ray or just see me hang out with cute dogs, then feel free to visit me over on YouTube. Get Real Ray 4273.